Meeting your idol outside a proper fan meeting can be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's not every day you meet K-pop stars in the middle of the grocery store or that you run into Lee Soo-man who then invites you to a concert, but there are those lucky fans who had some crazy idol encounters. An unexpected encounter. Reddit user E-chan shared their story of running into Jay from Day 6 in a mall in 2018. They shared their story online saying, "I bumped into Jay from Day 6 in Toronto. My friend and I were downtown at the mall to chill. We were walking out of a store when we noticed a man wearing a grayish hoodie. I looked at his face and noticed that it was Jay. Sometimes when people meet their idols, they tend to get starstruck and speechless, but these girls did more than a simple glance. They actually called out after him. Out of shock, I called out his name and he turned around and said, 'Hey.' He seemed like he was in a rush to get somewhere, so we didn't ask for a picture or anything. I stopped my friend from following him too, just to respect his space. Now that's a nice behavior." The holiest place to meet an idol. Another person claims to meet Jay pre-debut at a more interesting place. Honestly, can you imagine a guy you met in church becoming a K-pop idol? User Huang919 wrote that they used to go to the same church as Jay from Day 6. The user then continued, "My first impression was that he was kind of quiet, kept to himself, but overall everyone really liked him. He would sing and play the guitar every Sunday, so he was kind of like a leader figure who the younger kids could look up to. Everyone at church freaked out when they heard that he was going to be a K-pop star, and even the adults were rooting for him. A church would probably be the last place where I would imagine meeting a K-pop idol, but what a cool experience." The bookshop meeting. Believe it or not, there are even more ordinary places to meet your idols. Think about it. What is the most chill place where you can meet a K-pop star? Reddit user Professor Genki met a GOT7 member in a bookstore of all places. I saw Jin Young from GOT7 in a bookstore in Gangnam like a year ago, and I'm not a huge GOT7 stan by any means, but it was still both a memorable and stressful experience. You really could meet your faves anywhere. Witnessing Taehyung's zoo trip. The chance of K-pop idols showing up in ordinary places gets higher when they go on tour, especially places that could be considered tourist traps. After all, K-pop idols are still people who want to see the best the cities have to offer. This is how the lucky fan and their friend bumped into BTS's Taehyung in Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago during their Love Yourself tour. The fan shared, "He was with a manager and a security guard. I had gone ahead of my friends outside while they were still in the indoor gorilla exhibit. He had walked past me when I was sitting on the bench getting something out of my bag, and I totally missed him until my friend ran up to me quietly squealing. We eventually ran into him again when we were viewing other exhibits. We didn't approach him at all and let him be." Taehyung even came online afterward to share pictures from the zoo. The fans who met him also added, "He's more beautiful in person," which we've heard many times from other people as well. Holding the door for BTS's RM. BTS, like many other idols, seem to like exploring different cities, especially when they are given the time to do so. RM has a passion for exploring nature and art galleries, which he got to do as their 2021 hiatus started. And that is how Twitter user Outro Alex met him in New York's gallery at the KOZ exhibition. She noticed him standing next to her and tried her best to ignore him as he was hanging out with his friends. But as she was leaving, they met at the exit door. She wrote in her Twitter thread, "I finally head out since the exit is right there. I get to the door and who is right there? Yup, June. So I held the door open for him, but like I go first, if that makes sense. I start heading down the stairs of the exit and it hits me. I really want to say something. Honestly, respect to her. I would have probably been speechless, but she got it together and actually got to say a few words to him." Namjoon even posted the picture sharing his gallery escapades on his Instagram. Bonding with BamBam in Berlin. Another idol who was seen at the tourist traps was BamBam in Berlin at the Brandenburger tour. A fan on Reddit wrote down their pretty cool encounter with him. "GOT7 is my ulti group, so I guess I was pretty bad at hiding my surprise. I said hello, he shook my hand and said, 'Nice to meet you. Are you going to the concert tomorrow? Thank you for supporting us.' At the end I said, 'Dude, you gotta promise me to shoot a dance tomorrow.' And I just started doing the shoot dances and we both started shoot dancing, laughing our asses off. The nicest thing is that BamBam actually remembered their little encounter. He did recognize me on the day of the concert, and when we made eye contact, we both started shoot dancing. To have a little bonding moment with your idol? Priceless. Saying few nice words is enough. When fans see their idols in public, sometimes they don't know how to approach them. The dilemma between trying to speak to your favorite idol while bumping into them or leaving them alone is real. On one hand, it truly is a once-in-a-lifetime experience to have an actual conversation with them, but at the same time, they deserve to have a private life as well. A fan from Austria had this dilemma too while seeing two members of Red Velvet in public a few years ago. I randomly met Wendy and Sulgi from Red Velvet last year when they came to Vienna to film a variety show. I was in a hurry and they were eating, so I didn't want to bother them for too long. I just said that I hoped they have a great time in Vienna and enjoy their stay, and Wendy smiled and thanked me. I think this must have been one of the nicest encounters. Best fan meeting ever. While meeting your idols in public is amazing, the chance for it to happen is really not that high. But don't worry, because there are some people who met K-pop idols through fan meetings and still had a mind-blowingly good time. So imagine, what would be the coolest version of high touch with your idol? Whatever you were thinking, it's probably less crazy than what user Sean Vancity experienced at an EXID fan meeting organized with Makestar for their 5th debut anniversary. The 50 people who bought the highest tier ticket not only got to meet the group, but also got to play variety games with them. The fan recalls, "We drew pieces of paper out of a bag that determined our team leader, and I was put on Jungwa's team. Unfortunately, it was a bit hard for us, the international fans, to communicate with her as her English is not very good, but she tried her best to make us feel included. She even gave us a hug after the games were over. We didn't win, lol." And when you thought that was the dream, it only got better. The most insane part was definitely the last part of the meeting. Now, playing games with them was already crazy enough, but holy crap, we got to eat BBQ with them? There were 4 groups of tables, and all of the fans sat down first. Then the members came later and randomly chose where to sit. Hyelin ended up sitting at my table. And the best part? She hand-fed each of us at the table lettuce wrap. Who gets hand-fed by their idols? Even just being able to offer and pour water into Hyelin's cup was surreal. Honestly, this story got me really jealous. Lee Soo-man showing who's the boss. While many fans manifest meeting their idols, maybe we should all get inspired by this legendary fan and start manifesting meeting their CEOs instead. The story about a fan who met none other than Lee Soo-man in Los Angeles went viral a few years ago. The two met in a shop and started talking, only for the girl to mention that she was a big fan of Super M, who were having a debut showcase in the city. And normally, you would expect Lee Soo-man to laugh at this and thank her for appreciating the group, but he decided to do something that comes close to a Wattpad fanfiction. He gave her VIP tickets for the upcoming Super M show. Y'all, I'm not kidding. Seeing your faves from the VIP section rocks, especially when you are watching Super M. But the true fanfic-like experience came afterward. Since Mr. E was being generous AF, he decided to save the girl's number just to call her later and bring her backstage to actually meet the band. The fan posted her pictures from the event to have actual proof of meeting the members. Honestly, Girly had more luck than any of us ever will. Mr. E, my inbox is open. Not every fan encounter is a pleasant one. Of course, meeting your idol in some random place is cool, as long as there is no stalking involved. There are some lines that the fans, or anyone really, should never cross. Already, there are way too many sasaengs who are tracing steps and sightings of their favorite idols just for a chance of a glance and a one-on-one interaction. The stories of these people doing the most insane stuff are simply terrifying. From tracking devices being found on 80s cars and flights of many BTS members, to hours of waiting in front of the dorms just in case any of the Stray Kids members come outside. It actually got to the point where Seungmin had to post on Bubble. What is with these sasaeng fans who wait in front of our dorms and invade the members' privacy until this hour? To make people aware of how insane this situation is. The members were all suffering mentally, and stays were lashing out at JYP for not protecting their artists enough. Onces might be familiar with Twice's Nayeon's persistent stalker who had been harassing her and tracing her steps since 2019. It has gotten to the point where JYP Entertainment had to file a lawsuit against him since he repeatedly went to the company's headquarters. He even leaked personal information of Twice members when he published Taehyung's phone number. In March 2020, that ban on him was lifted, but JYP promised to get better security for all of their artists. But for everyone who genuinely wishes to bump into their faves, the future is bright. With many groups planning tour stops in 2022 and getting back on the road, there's a way bigger chance you will see your bias mingling in your city. So here's to more happy accidental meetings and more cool stories. Do you have your own crazy encounter with a K-pop idol or celebrity? Or is there an idol you really want to meet outside a scheduled fan sign? Please tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching!